Fine. So, good evening, and I'm Aditi from Arohi, and we have today Sandhya with us. Um, I'll not talk too much about Sandhya. I think Sandhya, I'll leave it to Sandhya to talk. Also, I think we have been doing this webinar for the last 4 months now. Every Saturday, different families coming and really enjoying this different flavor of what is this one umbrella called homeschooling or unschooling. And it has been quite a pleasure to hear. Some of them are from Arohi. They have been doing with us. Some of them are part Arohi. And this time we have Sandhya, who has, I think, a long journey of homeschooling, unschooling, supporting different parents, and all that. So, before Sandhya, you start, I just want to give them a little perspective on this. Is that normally when we talk about, say, homeschooling or unschooling, so you know, some people even get confused between which one are you talking about, what does this mean, and all. So I just wanted to bring it that, okay, if I look at it at two spectrum, one spectrum you may say that, totally structure, completely curriculum driven, not much choices to the child, whatever is there the child takes it from there. And there is another spectrum where is no structure, no curriculum, completely open to the child. But if you see this, the middle part which is there's a lot of scope out there. And I think most of us who have been doing now for a few years, we keep moving in different spectrum as the child is moving, like it's like, almost moving on the maze with the child. And that's what I guess Sandhya will also share with you, how the journey changes. So also want to bring this perspective that there is no one way of homeschooling, but this whole things I think opens up that there are many ways of doing it. So we don't need to subscribe to one kind of education. We can move in the spectrum as things changes, as Sandhya will also share that how Pranav's needs changed and she moved from one spectrum to another spectrum, how Omkar's needs are there, and how both the children are doing. And I think many other parents which Sandhya has been in connection and then talking and supporting them in different ways of homeschooling. So there are many terms which you will hear: open schooling, unschooling, homeschooling, free schooling, road schooling, world schooling. So people are defining in their own way. So I think I will not now take too much time. Over to Sandhya. I'll now stop share, and then I think Sandhya you can start. So to all of you who are there in this webinar, the way we'll go is, I think we'll let Sandhya speak for say 10-15 minutes, share all her journey of so many years in 15 minutes. Not fair. But let's see how it goes. And then I think we can open up for conversation with people. And then some of you, if you have any question about Arohi or any other specific thing, I think you can stay over after 6 o'clock, and then we can have more interaction on other things which you want to know about Arohi or any other thing. So over to you, Sandhya.
Thank you so much, Aditi. And yes, I also am of the opinion, having homeschooled for more than a decade, that uh, there's a line in between that, and it is about following the child and what the needs are. I also run a school-based group, so I'm not against schooling. As far as I'm concerned, it is more about what does the child need when the child needs structure. So I also, now I don't want to label as an unschooling or a homeschooling, because we all, I mean, you also will agree, we do move from that. The moment a child needs structure, we will work on that structure. Sometimes we think that is required, and there's a little nudge that is required there based on what the child wants to follow, and then we go that way. So just to give a gist and start off with my journey per se, because I think I've gone through the whole gamut of probably emotions and everything else, because I've moved from what we call unschooling to homeschooling to going back to school, a lot of things. So to start off, my journey started when I think in 2009. I think around 2008, I had come across this alternative uh, schooling group. It was a mail list in Yahoo, and I had come across and I had been reading about it and just sharing with my husband about I mean, there are things like that. Every time I complained about school, I mean, not that we had a real problem, but we would say, why can't we just homeschool? It's so easy. However, my husband was a little skeptical on that because he was academic oriented. And suddenly, but I think in 2009 and Dasara vacation, he decided that let's try it out for the 10 days. The reason being, our Pranav Swaroop was doing uh, well at, oh, is it mine?
No, no, not Sandhya. Yours. I think
Okay,
somebody else
okay,
is asking the
sorry.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pranav Swaroop was doing quite well at school. However, we also realized that music was innate in him. It wasn't just a hobby. And we also realized going to school, that was getting limited as an extracurricular class alone. So, we thought he should be able to pursue it. And since he's academically bright, and among the two of us, the regular subjects at school, we could cover it among ourselves. So we did think of homeschooling only as an option when we started. I am more of an organized person, so I was a little taken aback when he suddenly decided that we will do it for 10 days. Well, he was the one holding back, my husband. Um, but we took the plunge. We took the plunge. We spoke to Pranav. Pranav was around 9 at that time. But we've always been with the children we have discussed. Omkar was very young. He was just 3. So with Pranav, we did decide and we talked to him. We said this will be what it is. If you are going to be homeschooled, you will not get to meet your friends. All this aspects will be there, both sides. So are you ready for that? Do you want to do it? And he was okay. He said yes. So we started off on that journey, and I think for more than a year or so we were in that mode of academics. And slowly I realized that the 3-year-old was also much more calmer when I also stopped working and I was at home. He was independent, but the fact that I am around for him when he needs me, I think calmed him down. He was one of the biggest tantrum throwers I have seen in my life at that point. However, the moment we realized that, we thought, okay, let him also join in the journey. So Pranav's initially, yes, there was academic focus, but a lot more focus on his music. So that was the only thing that had a proper structure and a routine. While the academic was, we would just take on topics and give it to him for a week and he would read it. And he was more or less an independent learner even prior to that. So that's how we started. However, over the years, slowly, I I think the journey actually and truly began when I started thinking of myself and how my thoughts were evolving,
Yeah.
and I was able to start looking at the children not as my children who I had to teach, but are individuals with own thoughts. And we used to communicate, but it was still always like, at a good school we talked to them. So in a way we were talking down to them, which they didn't realize. They were also used to it. However, slowly that evolution happened. In around 3 to 4 years, I think we moved on, and then from there it was a lot of facilitation. Again, 3 years down, Pranav, 2 or 3 years down, Pranav was able to tell, I need facilitation or a mentor for music. I don't want to do my exams there, though he was doing quite well. While my academic is just a goal for me, I need to write that exam. And Amma, your facilitation is not working. He didn't want facilitation for academics. He said, what Appa's doing, Achan's doing is what is working for me, and I want to learn. I want a teacher for academics. I want a mentor for music. I don't want to take the exams. Even that we respected. By then we had also started, respecting the fact that he was thinking that way, and we were able to appreciate that at age 12, if he was able to
Thing.
know and understand that difference, that's like the greatest thing that he could do. uh, and Omkar has been pretty much unschooled right from the beginning. We didn't
Yes,
have
Sanjay, can you also share how old is now Omkar and
Om,
Pranav?
Pranav will turn 20 in a few days from now. uh, Omkar is 13. He continues being unschooled. He's never had a proper structure per se or academic goals, but he can read, write, comprehend, which I think are the basic skills, basic arithmetic. And if he needs to take the exams, we will work on it. We are considering NIOS for him because he has taken sport, and he couldn't care less about an exam, and I should be fine with it. However, if he needs to take up his sport and take it forward, he does need some sort of certificate there. So I'm not bothered about the marks, but he has to be able to do it. So Omkar is 13 and continues being unschooled. Pranav is 20 almost, and he completed his A levels. He took a gap year. We did have a uh, big life a loss at that point of time, and it was a trying time for all of us. So in fact, I did insist that he takes the gap year. He took a gap year, which again also made him think he was on another path which he wanted to take. But the gap year helped him to bring him back to sound technology. He was also clear that he didn't want to do a degree in it, graduation. He's doing a course because he believes that there's more hands-on work in a course rather than a graduation. So he's doing that, and thanks to the lockdown, the exams are not completed. He would have finished the course by now. The practicals have not happened. But he also had started working in the sense he's helping a dance institute with the, I think, their digital part, and a little bit of their administrative part. I mean, he's on his own, so I just know that he's taken up projects. He's also doing um, my other company's website and that aspect for
So
us.
you also want to share. I think he went for 10th or O level for to the school in between.
Yes, he
Uh,
went back
Pranav.
in ninth. Yeah, he went back in ninth grade. IGCSE is what he wanted to do. That was his choice. So he went back in ninth due to a personal. He didn't want to go to school, honestly. But it was again, we moved to a place where he was not able to get the right kind of support for everything that he wanted to do. So I said, till I settle down and I get my things done, he better go to school because it is ninth and he has his goal. He has his goal which should not be limited because of us or me. So he did go back in ninth. Ninth and 10th, he did his IGCSE, and he initial plan on his part was to take the gap year after the IGCSE exams. However, at that time, maybe because we moved, Omkar and I moved to Kerala because due to personal things, but Omkar also took up squash then. Before that, he was playing cricket and soccer. He took up squash, so we continued there. And I understand Omkar wanted to stay with his father so that father's not alone. So he then said, okay, I will not take the gap year after 10th. I will take after the 12th maybe. So he did his AS and A levels from another school at that time. So what I'm also trying to put across is there would be changes. Nobody can make a plan. Some are not in our hands, and some are our own thoughts which change as we go along. We would think something, even as adults we do that. We think this is what we need, and then a year or so or a few months we realize, oh no, this is not working out, we need to do something else, or maybe just interests change. So that is something that I had to learn, because I'm a very very, very structured, planned person and prior to all of this. And I had to teach myself how to, not teach, I kind of realized that yes, planning is good because it gives me a focus. However, everything is not in our hands and we need to be prepared. You might not always have a plan B also in place, but how do you adapt?
Yeah, I think children's needs were also changing, right? And
Yes,
yeah,
that's what I was trying to say, that even their thoughts. So unless a parent also gives that to them,
yeah,
that freedom to be able to change. So many a times I've seen that with parents, uh, which even I did initially, that I thought it was sorted out. In 2 years, I figured out, okay, Omkar learns like this, Pranav learns like that, and this is what is working. And before I knew it, they switched. They said, no, this is what I want, and this is what the other child wants. And I was like, oh my God, now I have to. And then I slowly realized I just needed to be there as the support.
yeah,
When their changing needs come, I need to be prepared that their things would change. Even now, we always thought Omkar was into sports, and he's good at it, and that's the way we went. However, now we signed him up for another course. I signed him up, and uh, we realized he has other skills, some which are creative in nature, and so, I did know that he could sing, but he didn't want to take it up, so we didn't force him on that. However, now there are other creative skills which he might want to take up. So his option B, C's are available, which I would not have thought of at all because it was sports that we're going. So even as adults, we don't have all the answers. So we
yeah,
need to be prepared for that and also give the children the what you call it, the not just the freedom, that they believe that they
yeah.
can change their ideas, they can change their plans. It's okay, it's okay to say that, oh, I thought this is what is going to work, but this is not what it is, I
Yeah.
want to try something else.
Yeah. So many of the parents who are, especially now in this situation, are thinking that homeschooling or unschooling path. I think what you have touched upon is quite a important part, that it can change. Doesn't that brings a lot of freedom for us to? And I think change is possible whether you need to change the school or from school to homeschool or homeschool to unschool. I think things are possible, and then many of us, I will say that who have done, like Sandhya, you said, for last 10 years you have been doing, and then we have seen these changes happening. So just wanted to say, if any one of you are there who are listening and then have that kind of a fear that if we decide now and if we go for this path and if things doesn't work out, then what? So I think that's what Sandhya has touched upon, is that it's possible.
Another point also that I will want to say is, because I've heard a lot of parents say this, like I said, these large groups that I'm either part of or that I run. So many parents are like, tomorrow the child should not come back and tell me that,
Yeah.
I made a mistake, I made the wrong choice. Uh, it can happen. You need to be prepared for it. I will have to say that because Pranav did tell me that. And even when I did talk to Pranav, I wanted to bring this point because uh, unless you have evolved as a person, as the adult, you will
Hmm.
not be able to take it when a child looks at you and says that you made the wrong choice for me, because it is the parents responsibility to make the choice, is what we believe. So when Pranav said that also, I told him, I said, Pranav, we spoke to you and you agreed to it. We've always respect, except for the time when we pushed him back to school, we have respected what he has had to say. So he again looked back at me, this was I think when 18 or so, and he looked back at me and he said, at 9 what would I know? I looked up to you. You were the adults who did. Yes. But even after the gap year, he was the one who came back and said, I'm glad my mother pushed me to take the gap year. So all this will happen. These are
Yeah.
challenges that even school going children, their parents will face, because the child will say, why did you put me to school? You could have
Yeah.
homeschooled me. They could have said, why did you put me in this school? You could have changed the school. So even parents are human beings. So unless you see each child, each person as the individual that they are, including yourself first, you'll not be able to take this kind of a path that we have taken. Then you work on structure, but you be very clear on that this is what it is. The child also needs to be clear, you also need to be clear on that.
Yeah, so what you bring, Sandhya, is a beautiful point that, we don't need to, what you're saying is planning is good. Or maybe we are, I think, conventionally geared up that, okay, planning means, education means 0 to 10 and then 10th to college. That's the spectrum we talk about. But what you're talking about is that in between there is a lot of scope to move around and reflect back and talk and think back and then make changes as things are going on. So I think it might, if we start looking from that perspective, that things are possible, we can change it, we can something can go wrong, some decisions can go wrong, and then we can always rework on it. We are human being, as you're saying. So I think that's a very good, or I will say comforting thing, that parenting is not a very serious issue, and we don't need to pretend that we are perfect and all our decisions are great and all
Absolutely.
those kind of things. Yeah,
Absolutely.
beautiful. Yeah. uh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I also came, these thoughts crossed my mind after we started our homeschooling journey, based on my own life experiences. Um, I I was raised in the Middle East. I grew up in Kuwait, and I was in the 10th grade during the invasion. And we were having our summer vacations when this happened. And I'm in 10th, which is like the board, looming board. My parents, even prior to that, luckily, uh, for them, academics was just something that you need to do. Everybody goes to school, you go to school. You do well also. I mean, I was a good student. You do well also was okay for them. If my sibling was not that great in school, that also was fine. I mean, it was not. Let's see what we can do. Okay, if the teacher says tuition, that's what. So there wasn't too much pressure on academics. Yet it is still the board exam time, and it took us around a few months to get to India. And my parents also were not aware of the boards. I took admission in another board, and in 2 months I could do it. And my father always told me, it's okay, everybody knows our condition. If you fail, also not a problem. It's okay. He always, I think my father has been free, but at the same time, that safety net was there, and I knew that, unconsciously. They weren't very rigid parents who, my mother would have been probably, but my father was more about, we'll see, everything happens. We had some discipline, but that's about it. But the freedom of choice was left to us. But I also realized when I was given total freedom after 12th grade to choose what I wanted to, at 17, I was ill equipped for it. I was very ill equipped. I was given total freedom. You do whatever you want. But I didn't know. I had so much input from various family members. And all this as an adult, I could think back, maybe because of my interest areas also, this the psychology of how children think or people think. So this was another thing that, um, after my journey, not when it started, but after that, I could kind of relate and connect, and and see that major life changes are not actually going to change who you are, or it's not. Right now, if you see, many parents are worried. Homeschooling for them also, even homeschooling is a worry,
Yeah.
because they don't know if my child is going to be on par when they get back to school, or even homeschooling, will I be doing the right thing? What if I do something major or wrong, or is online classes going to affect my child? So all of that, you know comes into the picture there. The truth is, it's a situation that nobody foresaw. So
Yeah.
nobody could have seen this coming. The thing is, adapt. You have to swim till that end, and then take a decision. Give yourself, as the adult, some time to decide what is the best thing to do next. Don't get worried that because they've lost a little bit of this, their life is gone. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not.
Yeah.
Be it academics or even the social emotional. As of now, many parents have even come to me pre-COVID, worried about, will I be able to handle my child properly. No, even as an adult, you will make mistakes or what you think are mistakes. But you're learning a lot more about yourself and your child then.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself about it. Is my take.
So Sandhya, can you a little more also talk about, you said Pranav took IGCSE, he decided to go for IGCSE. So can you talk little more about that also?
Um, so when we first started homeschooling, we didn't think of any board. It was in the middle of the academic year. We thought we'll continue with the books that he already had. However, almost 2 years down, we sat him down and we decided if you need to. For Pranav, we weren't very, insistent that he needs to take the exam. That was a choice. He
Mhm.
wanted to. So the only options that are available for a homeschooler after I did my research, which I understood, was the NIOS or the IGCSE. So we looked into NIOS, we looked into IGCSE, gave him both the input, whatever data that we had found out, mostly me, and he was given the choice. So he realized that IGCSE is more application based, more than rote learning. Though
Yeah.
he was good academically, he preferred the application part of it. Even question papers, a lot of research went into, to decide where, how, and all of that. So he decided he wanted to do IGCSE. So our plan was to homeschool all the way, and he gave his exams as a private candidate. So what we did is we didn't work class wise. What we took is we took the 10th standard books and whatever we found online, and we worked backwards based on whatever we could. My husband being a pharmacologist, me being from a technical background, the sciences were covered among us. Languages, I said I will take on, so we did. But like I said, as we moved on, subjects changed based on his interest and his needs. That exploration was available to them. So IGCSE was what was planned. And even we also realized music, because music was the reason why we took this. Music couldn't be taken by a private candidate.
Okay.
So when we went back to school, but Pranav was preparing for other subjects. When we went back to school, the school said they will support if he wants to take it. They were ready. Uh, but Pranav didn't want to take as an exam, because by then he had realized that
You're saying exam for music he didn't want to take.
music he didn't want to take from the IGCSE as one of his subjects. He didn't want to take it because he realized that uh, the way he learned for an exam is by focusing on the skills required to write the exam. He'll understand the concept, okay, but he's not exploring. While music, if he did that, he's getting limited. He actually used these words when he was 12 and said, I
Oh.
am feeling limited. I'm learning only these pieces. I'm
Hmm.
learning only these pieces, and being a perfectionist, he's trying to get it perfect. Even if we thought it was perfect, or his tutor thought, he's not, because he's not hearing it, and he will keep trying. So he's not getting the time to explore. The moment we stopped with the exams, he
Good.
was free. He
Yeah.
was free to do what he wanted, and you could see that his guitar sir would come, and it was a jamming session. So sometimes Pranav is playing the guitar, and the sir is on the drums, and sometimes he's on the drums and the sir is on the keyboard. So they were just, but we were happy because he found the mentor.
Yeah.
What he
So what you're
wanted was a
saying, yeah.
mentor.
So what you're saying is he moved ahead with the two ways. One, for music he was exploring, but
Mm.
for say exam, he followed the path which was required to take up the exam. Yeah, beautiful. So you know how he's balancing both the
Yes,
things.
and now he does think that maybe an exam for his music might benefit him. He's
Hmm.
old enough to take his own choice if he wants to prepare. Last year sometime he did mention it, maybe I will take it up, maybe. um, so far I haven't heard anything. He's earning on his own for his own needs. He's taking his own decisions. He stays also there. So i, I don't break my head too much about being the nagging parent on his head. When he knows when he can come to me, he knows when he can take his independent decisions. So I think that's all that I am looking at for my children to be able to lead their life. My role as a parent is to equip them with skills to take their own decisions and their choices,
Yeah.
and not
Can you,
make the choices for them.
Sandhya, can you also talk a little about the gap year which Pranav took and how did
Okay.
it go?
Okay. So the gap year was a forced one, as he says. So the thing is, after his 12th, um, actually a few months before his 12th exams, the boys lost their father. And it was a very, trying time, because the younger one and I were in Trivandrum at that time. And we moved back and exams and so many things. And he also, being in a school by then, all the children were preparing for entrance, registering and all of that. So his initial thought was to do engineering. He was good in computers. He kind of learned on his own also coding after that. But he thought it is safer to take that and do music on his side. But I was very clear, because I had seen, even when he went back to school, how music took a back seat. And that's
Yeah.
something that he has innately. So Pranav is that's where I said that sometimes we might need to step in. We can't totally give them that freedom. So I realized that if he does something like that, it will just be a hobby again, if he does, and just go off. So I tried telling him, if you really want to do engineering, maybe sound engineering is what you need to do, uh, or just think about it and then decide what something else, or maybe a degree, whatever. I was giving him options, but he was a little adamant at that time, because he thought he knew the best. And finally, I just put my foot down and I said, I will not pay for your engineering. You go figure if you want to do it. And he was forced to take a gap year. But he also got the opportunity then to intern at a corporate, an MNC, for 6 months. Uh, and he got the opportunity to try out different things in a corporate setting. That's when I think he realized that,
Did an
oh,
internship there?
he did an internship at 24/7.
Okay.
He got an opportunity to do that, and I think different departments also he was able to. And he was, I don't know if he was introduced, but he also took an interest in coding, and he learned it on his own. He looked in the on the net, and figured out some things that he could do. And I think he those skills I was aware that he did have, but it was his interest, and he went on. And that's when he realized, during that gap year, that what I thought and what my classmates or my peers were talking at that time, because you know how a 12th
Yeah.
grader will be, that whole group of them talking about it, and children do get influenced. So that's a possibility. Even if as a parent you are more supportive, it can happen, because they do spend a large chunk of time together, and those children's parents are thinking very differently, which is not wrong, which is what they think is the best. So he was of that mindset, but that 6 months of internship gave him a peek into the real world, where he realized that, oh, that might not be what I want to do. Let me look at the other options. And then he came back and he said, sound technology is something that
Uh-huh.
I would like to explore. And we did graduation, we made a list. There we did plan, because he came back and told that. We planned that, and we explored options, Chennai, Mumbai, all. And I could see the difference in this boy by then, on how he's thinking and
Yeah.
how he's planning for himself, where he's able to. He did a little bit of research. I'm doing my research. We are exchanging notes, and then we filtered out some. Then we went there. Even the A.R. Rahman Institute, he said, no, I don't want to do it. Though there are options of being able to do a certificate course, then a diploma, and then this, the degree. If you don't have to do the whole thing, if you don't want to. He still said, no, I'm not comfortable with that environment. I do think it is more theoretical and fact-based. So he realized that he learns differently. What
That's
he
beautiful. Yeah.
what he thought even academically, how he learns better, all those years, was not how he learned. and he figured it out himself. But by then, even I had evolved enough not to go and tell him that no, this is not right. You don't study like this. This is how your brain works. So I was able to. So there are some mistakes that we let him do knowingly that he is going to fail there, and
Yeah.
that we will step in them.
So I think you're also sharing that thing, that combination of gap year gave him the space, while maybe either he was confused or he was getting influence, and then you as a parent could sense that, and you put your steps. So what I'm hearing you're saying is that we as parent play many different roles. Yeah, sometimes
Yes.
we can see something, and then as you said, little nudge or little push, or things, a combination of different things can help. And but even after doing all this, some things can go wrong and some things can go,
Yes.
as
Yes.
Pranav
We
came
need.
back to and said that thank you for pushing me for for the
Yes.
gap year. Yeah, so I think, Sandhya, quickly, if you just, because already the questions have started coming, but I think we
Okay.
hold on to the question for some more
Okay.
time. Yeah, some of you are sending me private message. Bishaka, yeah, I think if you can copy paste and send it again on the main window, it will be, because then Sandhya can also read. I'll read out aloud for you, Sandhya. But I also want to quickly ask you to brief us, or share a little about this whole initiative of Homeschoolers Nook, and different
Mm.
supporting different parents who wants to start their different journey.
Right. So Homeschoolers Nook actually started because when Swashikshan started. Swashikshan is the All India group. I think around 2012. That's when I realized that we are all different kinds of homeschoolers. You will not find a single homeschooling family that is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Be it eclectic, be it unschooling, be it even unschooling families are not the same. Even homeschooling families are not the same. And neither are any of eclectic. It's very easy to figure out that we'll all be very different. We pick and choose and whatever we need to do. So there's no, but Swashikshan as a platform had been very helpful as a support group for us. And I also realized that the numbers of homeschoolers in Bangalore were increasing. In 2014 was when Pranav went back to school, and he, as I said, he did not want to go back to school, so he had put a condition. Everything he tried finally, and he put a condition that he will go to school only if we send the younger one also. He didn't think we would probably waste money on that, but since it was our need at that time, we agreed, and both of them went to school. So I did have a little more free time, and I realized that uh, there were more and more younger parents coming into the homeschooling journey. They were starting off and they didn't know where to look. I mean, I was getting calls, people were talking to me. However, individually to be able to help also, it takes a lot of time. So I realized, just like Swashikshan, uh, I was an admin there also. Just like Swashikshan, we need one for only Bangalore. And that's how the Homeschoolers Nook, it was known as Homeschoolers Bangalore first, and then we changed the name to Homeschoolers Nook. That's how it started. Even there was a little bit of evolving after a few years. Um, then everybody wanted to regulate it with different groups of people, the zones in Bangalore. How do we help out with the physical space support, the community? We had a lot of ideas going through. So the homeschoolers Nook also is evolving based on the kind of families that we have. Of late, we found a lot of these new age homeschoolers, the Corona
COVID age.
homeschooling. Yeah, and a lot of promotions of that kind. We don't mind promotions because it might help some of us also. However, it became a little too much of homeschooling packages.
Yeah.
It helps some, but when it gets too much of another kind, we so we've just closed right now while we gather our thoughts and see how
Yeah.
the existing families want to take this. So we
Yeah.
have the homeschoolers Nook.
Yeah,
Mm,
so I just want to bring it that
mm,
the homeschooling support system was available even pre-COVID. So it's not
yes,
that
yes, yes.
it's not that the COVID has brought all of us together here and start our journey. But yeah, the COVID situation has brought some more people who were thinking or wanting to try
On the
or
fence.
understand that, what is this whole world is. But I think homeschooling, unschooling, many parents means, in fact, when I started my journey, I realized the day I took the decision, I thought I'm the only one in this world who is going to
Yes.
homeschool, at least in India. But when I closed that door and opened another door, I saw met all of you.
Yes.
Uh,
So even when we started, though I was part of that mailing list, I did not, I wasn't aware of the number of homeschoolers in Bangalore. In fact, a couple of years after, I got to know when somebody was selling their books and stuff, there was a homeschooling family 2 kilometers away. So we literally homeschooled as a single unit.
yeah.
We knew some families, we had heard of them online, but that is about it. Even platforms like Facebook was not very active, 2009. So that's a long time ago that we started. And it was in 2014 when the homeschoolers Nook started. It was around then that people started connecting
Okay.
physically, forming their small groups.
Yeah.
They knew where to go. So uh,
Yeah.
we do plan to rework on that also again based on the current group that we have who are actual homeschoolers. I also realize the others who are like Manoj just said, quarantine homeschooling, schooling. So those parents have not, they are not aware of our kind of homeschooling. They have
Yeah.
not even they relate the term to what they are looking at. They have not heard of this kind of community that we have. Though awareness has built up a little more in Bangalore, it's still not a very common thing to do. We also need to understand which part of town we are in. That
Yeah.
people who have come from abroad have heard of the concept, but many are not aware. Many of them
Yeah.
who are throwing the term do not know.
Yeah, I think the moment we put the word home and school, it brings that, I need to bring the school to home, and it also bring anxiety that will I be able to do that. But I think what I'm hearing
Yes.
from you, Sandhya, that what you're talking about is not literally bringing the school to home,
Yes.
but there are different reasons, as I think you were talking right from the beginning, that understand the child, understand that there are so many options and look for the different needs.
For
Yeah.
that reason, we also changed the Telegram group because it is misleading. The word homeschool is a little misleading to people who are not aware or in the journey. We
Yeah.
know what it is, but when you're stepping in, also probably they don't, or even to contemplate stepping into something like this, they don't. So the Telegram group, which was earlier also known as Bangalore Homeschoolers, we changed it to home educators. So we
Yeah.
thought education, so it could be anything that we term. Even education means different things for different people, and we
Yes.
need to know what suits our family. If there's nothing wrong in being academically oriented,
Yeah.
but if is that what the child needs, is what you need to see, not what you think the child needs.
Yeah.
That's where the difference comes.
So I think there are a couple of questions, and Sandhya,
Yes.
I'll just take them. Jyoti is asking that her son is 13-year-old,
Hmm.
interested in computer field and very good at it, but the problem is the whole day screen time. Play sometime learn, sometime online platform, but he's not mature as normally 13-year-old boy. What do you suggest?
Okay, so I will answer that second part first about the maturity of the 13-year-old. I have a 13-year-old myself who is a kid. So we are comparing another 13-year-old, or what we think of a 13-year-old, to um, our child should fit into that mold. It isn't necessary. As I said right in the beginning, see them as individuals. If a child at 13 is playful and innocent, it's okay. It is okay. And it is normal. It's normal. In fact, once you've crossed that stage, you'll probably realize we want to hold on to their innocence as much as possible, and be there, because that is when they will explore. The moment they get this burden and responsibility on their head, they'll start focusing on something that mistake part they are not able to fail. Now, regarding the screen time, yes, I will give my own example. I have two boys. Pranav also tends to get addicted either to television or whatever, but he knows where he can limit it. Even as a 4-year-old, when I told him that television, that time it was television, he understood. He said he understood that this is what I considered appropriate, half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. After the first 2 days, I didn't even have to remind him. He learned to look at the clock. So from this time to this time, for me, I see it as a lot of learning happening there. But so he regulates himself
Yeah.
the moment he realizes. While Omkar still has trouble. Still has trouble. In fact, today also I have spoken to him about his screen time or what he does. I know he is also using it usefully. I know he's also playing with it, but I have various other concerns. He's playing a sport, his eyesight. So we have been working for a couple of years with Omkar, but I believe that if you need to change something, that should come from the child.
Yeah.
So how do you help the child? You have conversations with him. You tell him your 13-year-old is old enough to understand. You say, this is my concern. How can we deal with it? You can have your playtime. You can learn your coding. See, even when he's learning coding online, he's not getting a chance to use it in real life to understand how much of it is. There are various groups, Jyoti, out there who do give real time internship platforms for children. If you probably even connect with me after this, I'll be able to help you with that. But my point is, for you as a parent, you need to be able to see him as a little adult. Even if he's not mature enough, you can start. I start from my 3-year-old itself. We start talking to them.
Yeah. Yes,
Level.
the point, yeah, Sandhya is talking about is the talking to them. So I think, Jyoti, if you go back to your 13-year-old son and talk what Sandhya is saying is, and you know, exactly what you have written, if you share the thing, and also I think if you share that the different possibilities in coding, as Sandhya is saying, connect, give them a little support through that way, can make them connect with different people, you know, talk little about it, your concern, and what are your concerns, where are they coming from, maybe listen to the what the child's concerns are.
So even Aditi, many parents are not aware of the possibilities on how to plug the skills with what they can do. They
Yeah.
are looking for help and support. Like for example, just this is just a thought that crossed my mind. Okay, Manoj's son plays Minecraft, so he's able to strategize. He's building a lot of things. There's a lot of learning that happens there. So if it is Minecraft that he's playing, and the coding can come in there as well, but the parent might not know. For the parent, Minecraft is a game. Now
Yeah.
you need to see what kind of game he's playing and how you can channelize it. The skill and what he's doing and what his interests are, if you can put both together, the
Yeah.
child will also be more willing to understand your concern and work on it. And you also want him, like I always say, that he needs to be able to take the decision. You have to build on that. 13 is an age where you can start.
Yeah, so I think as a parent, our role doesn't lies only in say teaching something, but also you know, bringing these different perspective, that how the same interest is possible to plug in different forms, and you can develop different skills. So I think
I see
yeah,
another question
yeah,
from Sudha, which asks, what skill or qualification should a
parent
parent have
need.
to homeschool? Okay, so I am in education, but I am not qualified or skilled. And in fact, I did all of that after I went. And I know many parents who homeschool who are not in education. What you require as a parent is the will to do it, and the dedication, in the sense, this is what you want to do. If you're going to be planning that, this board, because I did this, I might not be able to set a standard for my child. It doesn't really work even with structured homeschoolers. Most parents learn on the go also what works. So even if you have a structure, or you're working towards an exam, or every year these are the academic skills that the child needs to build on, what you would need to do as a parent is observe the child, be able to figure out how or which platforms or which material might be required. And to tell you the truth, the ages that you said your boys are 7 and 3, everything is around you. You just get them involved with you at home, and math skill, reading skill, all these skills will get covered. You don't have to. One thing that I mainly, Aditi, I also tell all parents who are trying to step into homeschooling. I mean, the present NEP says 8 years, but I used to say um, uh, by the age of 12, if a child can read, write, and comprehend, and basic arithmetic, that is addition,
Yeah.
subtraction, where to use it. You don't have to learn the tables and learn addition facts and all that. My younger one has never ever done addition or, I mean, multiplication tables or algebra. But since the age of 7, 8, he used to go to the shop to buy stuff. He would do that calculation right there, and nobody could fool him with even the
Funny.
balance. No, they couldn't. And that, because it's within the complex and they know most of the children, that man used to always say, this boy doesn't even go to school. The others just come and take things and shout out the flat name and go. So the thing is, if you let them free with just being around and being part, engaging them in what you're doing at home, around you. I mean, right now, due to the situation, you are stuck at home, but involve them in all the other things that you are engaged at. Even if you are a homemaker, you actually do a lot of things that involve the reading, writing, and the arithmetic. That's all you need to do. It is the mindset that my child will learn what they have
Yeah,
to learn.
yeah. So Sudha, you don't need any education. I think you get educated along the way as you move ahead.
You
With
need to unlearn that. In fact, what you have as your concept in the head.
So Manisha is asking, unschooling in 12th grade, is it a wise idea?
Depends on your totally depends on your child and what you uh, think. If the child is ready to be unschooled and wants to take a path, and you are ready to give him or her that platform, it can start at any age. It does not matter,
Yeah.
but that depends on what you're looking for, right?
So,
I
yeah. So Manisha, if you have some more thoughts on this, maybe you can type again in the chat window. Meanwhile, I think Bishaka is saying, how do you set a
set
routine?
a routine.
What?
I realized I'm more of a unschooling parent. However, I also believe in some amount of discipline. The reason being, I work better with a routine. I did let go some years because I thought the children can do as they please, getting up at that whatever time and all of that. And especially during the lockdown, it has been very, very stressful for me because I have a routine and I want to get back to the routine. I realized I am not letting me free is not do whatever I want whenever I want. It's not working for me. So I do tell my children, I started at least a year or two back. I have started, the routine is for me. So I do say this is a concern for me. I am not able to do my other things because of this. So the children also learn to respect the fact, even if they are not routine based, they start respecting the fact that you need it. How can we help? They have their time to be free and do what they want. But if I insist that you need to, if I'm the one who's washing the dishes and I say that you have your meal at this time because I'm going to wash it, otherwise I expect you to do all of this part. So
Yeah.
there's a little, it's not compromise, but it is again communicating the fact that I am also a part of this unit. I am not here to provide everything for you. We are all four of us or all three of us or two of us or whoever are part to build that unit. And
Yes.
we are fitting into each other also. You might be family members, but you are not the same individuals. You all have different thoughts and
Yeah.
needs and requirements. So how will you fit it in? I've,
Yeah.
I've tried all sorts of things, with routine, without routine, and I figured routine works for me. Now if you want to be here with me, this is what you do. Part of the reason probably why Pranav is not here, because he cannot fit into my routine, which is fine, which is totally
Yeah.
totally okay with me.
So I think, so like academics, I think the living also moves from here to there, and then we keep on adjusting. How you are talking about it. So Malini is asking, can working
Asking,
parent homeschool?
so it depends on where you're working and how you are
Yeah.
doing. Yes, it can be. Again, as I said, I've probably gone through all gamuts. Um, so I have homeschooled while I worked full time in a different state than my husband was in Bangalore. I was in I was in another small town in Kerala. I was working a full time and traveling also. Continued homeschooling Pranav at that point of time, uh, homeschooling slash unschooling. Omkar was in a class because he was 5.5 and too young to be left alone. But Pranav was, he did have, he had to plan what he had to do, and I have homeschooled. 3 months he was with me, 3 months he was with his father, 3 months he was with his grandparents outside the country, where, and that time he was totally, because my parents are not going to sit and even figure out for him how to learn. He had his creative pursuits. Then he's also very creative. He used to draw and write, so he spent that time. And this I'm talking, I think he was 12 or 13 at that time, 13, close to 13. So it's all possible, and he does well academically also. He didn't do also academically properly, which was a hit for him, not for me, because I knew marks are not important, but he's learning to deal with it. Right. So yes, working parents can homeschool if y'all are ready for it. If you're in the same city, y'all can either, if your child is really young and you need to, you need to take turns to be physically around the child, then that's a possibility if both of you are working. I even knew a single mother who used to homeschool her daughter. So what she used to do is, her mother was taking care of the physical needs. This girl was around 11 or 12 years at that time. So daytime, the grandmother was the main caretaker, feeding those kind of things. And what the mother would
अगर गन
uh,
लगाए तो I can draw.
mother would do is, audible.
Yes, 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 yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Correct.
So what the mother would do is, when she gets back from work that evening, she would spend some time on the academic part, a little time with the child on the academic part, and then she would leave some work to be done the next day, and the child could do other activities, whatever she liked. She was a good artist at that time. So the mother worked out a routine where she could homeschool, and this is a single parent that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it is possible, but it is up to you on, do you really want to do it? So it all stems from there. What is it that you want to do, and what will work for your family?
Yeah. So I think what you were saying in the beginning, the will to do it, and I think the will to do come from what is that I want. As a parent, what is that I want to create for me and for my children, or how do I want to look at the education? Then I think there are as you're sharing, there are many different examples that how different people have been able to do. So Beena is asking, can they do state board exams?
Yeah,
And
some states allow private candidates, and those states
yeah.
can be done.
So Gayatri, I also want to share Gayatri saying that she's quite always inspired and motivated.
Gayatri is a friend. Thank you so much, Gayatri. But she's inspiring herself. So I have been following Gayatri also for quite some time now.
So Santo, I think Ratnesh is adding something on the state board.
State board CBSE, they can join back.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think Sandhya Ratnesh is reminding. I think you can join back the school also for.
But that has to be done at around 8th grade, be it even if a CBSE or an ICSE. There are some technical issues that Karnataka seems to be coming on and off with once they make a mandate, and then there has been some issues getting back, but
I think
I think that'll change.
So the one who wants to see, I think they can also connect back with the schools and then check what are the different possibilities.
Yes.
As the children are reaching those stages or the ages when they need to.
Okay, this is an interesting question from Santosh Kumar, which we always get, and which is the first question that we get. And I will tell you, Mr. Santosh, that is the least of our concerns. In fact, I will also tell you, our children, homeschool children, get more opportunities to develop their social skills than school-going children who are limited and who are watched upon every time, and still the adults are not helpful. In fact,
Sandhya, you're saying, when you say our children, you're not saying only your two children.
No. I meant homeschooled children. Sorry. Yes, homeschooled children get more opportunities in real life and real life situations to deal with. I can guarantee you, when it comes to even my two children, the same situation, both of them will deal with it differently and have to deal differently because of their personalities, and we are able to help them there. So the social skills are built up much more. And another thing I will tell you is, in a school they are forced to, unless it's an alternative space which has mixed age groups, they are forced to be with the same age group, which, like the earlier question about other 13-year-olds being, so that comparison comes into mind. There are lots of issues. While outside they can make friends, in homeschoolers make friends with various age groups, and they connect, or they make good friends based on the wavelength. My boys, my older one connects better with slightly older people because he's able to match that. My younger one, when he was younger, older people, because they used to play sport much better than a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old, but now he mingles better with children his age. So it gives the freedom to be able to choose friends also based on wavelength. See, as an adult, you don't go and ask the age before making friends, right? When you start working and all that. So our social skills are built up in real life. We don't look at age, but
Yeah.
in a school you are forced to. And if the adult also is not equipped to help you, God save you. So social skills is not a concern for us in the homeschooling at all.
Yeah,
As long
and
as you
I
let
think
your
as you
children
as
out
you
also.
as you evolve with your homeschooling, I think you will also realize that there are a lot of things which comes where you are interacting with a lot of different people.
Yes.
Like you were talking about the guitar sir who would come and jam. I think it was a social space for Pranav
Yes.
as
Yes.
the guitar
Yes.
teacher. It was no more a kind of a teaching and that kind of thing. So Pranav could work it out with the, and what else you need?
Mm.
Somebody to jam with you, and then he found a teacher who could
Yes, yes. And so we were also very understanding of what the child needs. And we used to try. So there have been tutors who did not work for, even if it was for music, did not work out for. Does not mean that the tutor was not
yeah,
a good tutor. Might not be a good educator, but was a good tutor for many children, but did not fit
fit
for
for.
Pranav, or Pranav did not fit into that style of learning. So that's. I see a question from Sujit
So
on the law.
almost
Oh
6.
yeah.
We have a lot of other questions. So if
Oh.
the group is fine, we can continue with question. And if Sandhya is fine,
I'm okay. I'm okay. I see this law of from Sujit. I see if it is as per the law, not sending to
child
school
to
is a
school is
crime. It is not. In India, it is not a crime. We have the RTE, which is right to education. I know it is a little ambiguous in the RTE, and there are a lot of things that we were also as a group discussing and trying to fight it out. But then we also realized after, I think Aditi and Ratnesh, you were also part of that group where we were thinking, we
yeah.
realized letting those dogs lie is the easiest thing, because as of now, honestly, from many homeschoolers' experiences, none of us have been affected adversely due to this. We have not been, the few cases that have come out in public have been other personal issues, which have the homeschooling as, but none of us, I have been able to, my children have been able to get their Aadhaar card and everything else what is required from the government stating homeschooling.
Yeah.
So it's not a crime. If it was a crime, we would have been caught then.
So
So
I think this also brings it that it's not that children are not getting that sense the education or developing skills or moving ahead in their life. So even in the law term, it's not a crime. Even if you talk about the emotional term, also it's not a crime. So let's see. Uh, I think. Pashishwarya, that's how I'm able to pronounce your name. Is
I
your
think it's Aishwarya. It's probably PS Aishwarya.
yeah, PS
Okay.
Aishwarya. So digital and
Aishwarya.
I think you yeah, sorry Aishwarya. So that's what I think Sandhya covered
Sorry.
now, that how you can connect with child, and then any other
A
point
five
to
a
this?
5-year-old, it might be really
No, I
difficult
think
to give the,
sorry, yeah, 5 year, yeah.
yeah, a 5-year-old, it might be difficult to give the total kind of freedom like that I would give a 13-year-old to decide how much time he spends on digital media. So there, I think the parent can come in and say, this is the time you can watch. You will have to set that balance for a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old is too young to look at the larger picture and on that. But the non-digital time, it is up to you as the parent to make it as engaging and fun as possible for the child. Even if it, for a 5-year-old, all household chores will build up their skills. I'm telling you that. It will be a help for you, and the child is learning a lot more. So just get them involved into that. Talk to them, stories, songs, just be there. Let them want to be with you.
Yeah.
Then they will pick on that. You don't need to structure everything for them then.
Yes.
But the digital and non-digital, you can
But
keep a time.
So Beena is just sharing that she's starting homeschooling from this year.
All the best, Beena.
Aravind is saying that possibly following you for a long and admired you for a long.
Oh,
So
thank you.
I think he has two questions. How did you make sure the kids are
So
interact? I
that
think we've
has
talked.
been answered. That has been answered. The social
And how do you
skill.
find
And
your personal space when the kids are young, or the kids are young?
that's very interesting. And it again, I go back to what I said. In fact, I started focusing on my personal space, and everything fell into place. I started focusing on myself. So, and it took me around 2 to 3 years of homeschooling to realize that I wanted my space. And when I did that, my children were left free. Before that, I tend to nag. I tend to nag in the sense, because you said you wanted this, so we're doing this. Why don't you? So my focus being on the children was detrimental to them as well as me. So the first thing, that once I started focusing on my space, I realized that they also started being more independent and not looking to me for either instructions or direction or anything. And they started thinking. So I do get my space. So even when they were young, even 3-year-old Omkar knew, 3, 4, I did tell, this is mama's time. Okay, mama needs this time you cannot disturb me, so let me go. Other time I am there for you. So yes, the earlier you start with that, yes, their physical needs, when they're very young, physical needs you need to take care of, and that is your responsibility. You'll just have to bite it or get support where you need it. That's another thing. Every parent, I don't think every individual, we live in a society. We can't live in a bubble of our own.
Yeah.
And that's where most of us are struggling now with the lockdown also, when we are stuck within that bubble. We need to be able to, and it is okay, which also children need to learn, that it is okay to reach out for support when you need it. And if as an adult you don't do it, your children will never learn that, because they are also seeing that vision that everybody needs to be perfect. You look up to the parent, right? So that you are human, so take that space. But if a child is really young and you really need that space, even when they are young and you can't do it, take the time for yourself. Find somebody else. You have a spouse, you have a partner, or you might have another elderly person, somebody, a friend. Just take care of the child at that point of time, and you get your space.
I think I also want to add to this that children also need their personal space. So it should not happen that, it's a constant clash of all the personal spaces. So I think children can also learn to ask for it, that I need my space. So Jyoti is asking, Sandhya, how can I connect with you?
Maybe Aditi will be able to share my, if you're connected to Aditi, you can share my number, or
Maybe if you're
Facebook.
comfortable, you can share here in chat window. I can also.
Oh yes, I can do that right away.
So Jyoti, I think you can also connect through Homeschoolers Nook.
Also, yeah,
that also
on
you get.
Facebook.
But then I think if you're wanting to connect her directly, phone number, I think Sandhya can put up.
Sure, I did.
I
Okay,
think
what is the right
name? Senior KG.
Oh yeah, what is the right age and process for homeschooling? As we have been saying all this while, there is no right age and there is no right way to homeschool. You have to figure out what. I've seen that the unschooling mindset helps, so that you will be able to figure out. And do not think that you decide to homeschool today and within a week you will have all the answers. it doesn't work that way. Another thing that I would like to point out also, Aditi, is that this is something we did not do, but I always advise parents who come to me, where a child has been to school, uh, and then you are looking at homeschooling, please take months, however long it takes, to deschool, please.
Yeah.
Deschool is getting the concept of schooling out of your system, because you also are conditioned in a way that this is what is required. You don't know the answers yet. So
Yeah.
all of you need to unlearn and move out of that. Just be, and then you will be able to. For
Like,
some families it will take 2 months, if they have already been communicating with each other and all, it might be just a few months. For some it might take a whole year to deschool, and just relax. It's okay. Even if it's a 13-14-year-old, nothing is going to happen if they even write their exam a year after that. I know homeschooling families, due to um, reasons, personal reasons, who have ended up that way, that a 13-14-year-old or an 18-year-old is writing the 10th and all of that. Nothing
I think yeah, you brought a beautiful point, that detox. Before
give it up.
I think the moment I switch from, say, any system to another system, if you're expecting that you as well as your child will suddenly change and things will fall in place, I think Sandhya is bringing a point that give time. Even when we change cities, we take few months to settle, understand what's happening. You have your
And
talk.
even then, there's a lot of evolving. Their age, their other factors, so many things will happen that you cannot expect anything. Even if you are just watching out to understand how they learn better, like I said, you will not, because
Yeah.
they will change and evolve there on how they learn, what they pick up. So you just need to be, and that's where the deschooling comes, that detox that you said. You need to get out that
Take a little
conditioning and
time.
just be.
Yeah. So maybe some of you who are suddenly shifting from schooling to homeschooling, it's I think it's okay to take a little gap, as we were talking about. Pranav took 6 months gap, a 1 year gap year,
1 year gap.
1 year gap for to understand himself. I think so, like that. If as a family, if we can take a break, pause, and then reflect back. So Rajalakshmi is
Just
asking.
asking. Yeah, which is leading from what we just said. Yes, many of us, even I have felt that, no, there are times when we do think, we are humans, as we said. We
Yeah.
do feel that, is this working out, is this not working out, all that. And that is where that Swashikshan support group helped me, and that's where the homeschoolers nook also started off. See, when you come and say this, Rajalakshmi, if you try to say that with other homeschoolers, there will be at least 10 of them telling you that, yeah, we've all been through there, just hang on in there. And that one word is enough, that, you know, that's there, and then you move on to the next day. So it happens, yes. And that's where I felt that that support group for us was very important, to just hold on to each other, as a community.
So Jay's talking about that same for working parent. I think you just answered about that, how you
Yeah,
can work it
yeah,
out. If
balance.
not answered, you can ask again a little later. Yeah, Aishwarya is asking, I would like to be part of this group.
So
I think,
homeschoolers,
yeah,
I will put the
in the Facebook, we
names.
put the name there, so then people.
Yes.
I put it on the other.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So Manoj has been helpful on that. There's a Bangalore, oh God, I forget the name, no? Home Educators, Bangalore Home Educators group on Telegram as well.
Yeah. So I will also share the link of this number of people who can support you, number of places where you can work on. So there are different groups who are working to
Yes,
support.
there are various groups. There's the Alternative Education and India Homeschoolers group. Shikshan group allows only active,
Yeah.
homeschooling families. But
Yeah, I can share all the details with you.
yes, all that we can, even among us, the various platforms that Aditi is talking about, be it Arohis, be it Homeschoolers Nook, and the Homeschooling Mom. There are various groups supporting, and we also support each other. We
Yeah.
kind of put this up in the group, so you will be able to, once you get there, get an organized list. Arohi is also, Aditi will also be able to share that with
Manisha is saying my son is
you.
independent.
So Manisha's question. Am I the only one who's stuck, or is it okay now?
Yeah, I can read for you, Sandhya. It's
Yes.
Manisha is saying my son is independent learner and wanted to homeschool when he started ninth, but we are conventional parent, and now he's in 12th, and he's saying he'll do much better if learn on his own. Um, I think she's also saying degree is more important for me. Learning is also fine. So she's still not. So Manisha, you want to share what's your question, or Sunday you just want to share some thoughts on this? What Manisha has shared.
Yeah, so I think what Manisha is trying to say is her son wants to homeschool.
Yeah.
However, she is not yet there to, and yes, it is important the parent also is on board for that. I would suggest Manisha that you explore the option by talking to him. Like I said earlier, you tell him this is my concern. So how can you, the son, how can the son help you be reassured that homeschooling, this is what he will do and this is what he will do. He can homeschool also for a degree. There are distance education courses. Ask him why he thinks homeschooling is better for him. As an independent, he is an independent learner, he probably thinks it's a waste of time, like Pranav said. I think Manisha is asking something, or is that Manisha?
Manisha is saying thank you for.
Okay. Yeah, so I think just give him that chance. Give him he's 12th, means he's what, 17, 18 years old. He's old enough to tell you. Raise your concerns with him and try to see where you can balance as the parent and be supportive of that. But if it's still not, the son will have to understand, I suppose.
Yeah, so I think more or less we have covered all the questions. There are a couple of more questions, but I think they are also talking about the support group and register. I think Sudha is saying, should do we need to register about children being homeschooled as per the NEP? You want to share?
NEP is only a, I'll just like to clarify that, Aditi. NEP is a policy.
Yeah.
A policy does not come into effect unless the government makes it into an act. And the present NEP also has a lot of points which are similar to the previous NEP, which was not done. So some parts of it are left to the state government to make it an act or a mandate. All that has not come. The new change that is said in the NEP is a large change. The parts which are like the different 5+3+3+4 system and all that. And unless that is done at the central level, it is not going to be implemented at the state level. So right now, schooled children registering for as per the NEP and all that, just don't bother about it at the moment. Nothing has come out of it. Karnataka at least has started work on the policy. It will be submitted, I think, the following week. However, the government needs to act on that. It will all take time. So till there is clarity on that, you don't have to register anywhere for homeschooling or anything else yet. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
I think, yeah, one of the forum we were also talking about is that NEP is not only about the government and the school, it's as well much about the parents. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Unless we change or we support or we start re-looking at this whole concept of education, concept of degrees, skill building, academics, I think NEP will not be effective, or it will not have it.
In fact, Aditi, Kerala had done something similar more years ago. It was called DPP. At the whole government level, the state had done it. It didn't work out, and they had to stop it because for this reason that you just mentioned, that the parents did not understand. They said, "My children are just climbing trees, and what is this? This is not education." See, Kerala is a very academic-oriented state, and they had to make such a big change. So
Yeah.
you see, it needs as a whole population to be able to change. So policies made by the government or experts will take into consideration all of this. And so it's too early to be worried about that. So let's just
Yeah,
chill.
so Dr. Mohammed, your question is very specific to if child want. Can you suggest some coding apps? Sandhya, can you share the overall approach that how any child needs something? How, and I think that's match up with Nanda Kumar question also about mentor, how to get mentor for.
So there are people like there are groups working on this to help you to identify each child's skill and work on that. For example, even Manoj's son has a mentor for coding. He did go for one of those regular white hat demo classes, and he was lost. It didn't fit him. He goes to an alternative space otherwise. So it didn't fit him, and he has a mentor. Now, how do you go about finding that? One of the things is that Nook is going to revisit and try to get a list of mentors, and then you can see how that fit. But that has not happened yet. You will have to look around, just like you look around for schools. You will have to find the right groups. If it is for coding or something specific that you can probably reach out to me. I will connect you. Aditi will also have quite a few mentors in various fields. So all of us put together, we might be able to help you out, either in the homeschoolers Nook or somewhere, anywhere, ROV's group.
So I think I want to add to it's that anytime a child has asked for a mentor, we haven't found a single child without a mentor till now. Yeah, we have been able to either the children are able to connect with the mentor because they know what are their needs and what are they looking for, and they find the people. And many of these mentors are not from so-called education industry. They are the one who are actually working in like for example, there are children, 9-year-old children who are working on programming, coding, and they are being mentored by the people who are actually doing coding in the field. So today only I had a session, means Ratnesh was having a session with a child who is in stock trading. He's 14-year-old and he's doing trading, his real life trading he's doing. And now he wants to learn about the business and all different kind of thing. And he has any topic he says and there is a mentor for him.
So that is another thing that alternative spaces generally also do. Even Arohi, what we see is when the child says, this is what I want, you to go out and find the right kind of mentor. I've seen alternative spaces where there's just this artist who's just drawing. He just sits in one corner and he's drawing, and then those who are interested would come, probably just scribble around, but the mentor can identify how to guide. See, so everybody does not learn to draw or learn to even code the same way. Coding is also creative, but a person who is already in it and who is also interested in imparting this or being able to observe and guide in the right direction is a true mentor. That these spaces, these Aditi, Ratnesh would have somebody, or they will ask from one of the, you'll be able to reach out to people like
so
that.
I think I also want to extend it. It's not only me, Ratnesh or Sandhya can find a mentor for you. I think you can also, it's just a matter of now start re-looking, as we have been talking about rethinking or, kind of a thing. So look for it. And so the people from various industries are ready to come. And so this child has a mentor who is into trading, who is from a finance background, and then he says, yep, I'm ready to guide you as much as you want. But probably we don't reach out to those people thinking that, okay, how will they teach the child? But then they being in the industry, I think, and in fact, they also ask it, what can I teach the child? And then we say, you don't need to teach, you just need to share a kind of a thing, and child will figure out with you. So I think I just wanted to expand it.
Many a times I've realized that we are the ones who kind of make the mentors. Like you said, they will be like, I can't teach, I don't know what to teach a child, 12-year-old, 13-year-old. And as I've said, I just say, be there. And sometimes I am the one in between. You just need to do that. You don't need to teach, because they think the mentor who thinks that, oh, he doesn't know this, he needs to know this to be able to reach there. I say, no, you don't. if it's not necessary, you don't. Let's watch out. So there have been times when I've actually been the bridge between a mentor and a child, to be able to, even if it's my own children, to be able to make them understand. That's where the parent comes in.
Yeah. So
This is
sometimes,
how my child is. Yeah.
like sometimes speaking to mentors also help. Like our son is in sports, and when he reach out to the coach, first thing they will ask is, oh, you have to study also, and then we have to explain to them. In fact, one of the sports club uh, spoke to us in detail that how they can now let their children not study in sports, in that sense, that how can they shift their focus from academics to purely sports for their children. And then he said, nobody came up with this kind of a requirement till now to us, so we never thought about it, and then you're the first one who are coming and asking for it, and it is making me think that this is also a possibility that we can offer to our children. Sometimes even talking to people, even if they are not offering to you, it helps, because that gives them a different perspective, that okay, these are the kind of things possible, and then we can
Yes.
create in fact the entire world as our mentors, and internship world for our children who wants to.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where it also clubs with that social skills, because when now they are no more bounded by the boundary of one space, one teacher, one curriculum, one path. They can reach out to different, and that's a real life social skills which they are building in various form. I think Priyanka has also put up the link to the join the Bangalore home
That
education. Yeah, I will
the
also
Telegram.
compile all these things. It's already there in one of the
Thank
sheet,
you.
and I'll share with all of you. I have been, I think you are there in that WhatsApp group where I can share, and you can also join homeschoolers. Nook, you can reach out to Priyanka herself is a homeschooler.
Priyanka is also, yes, a homeschooler.
Yeah. So I think if I think of it, I think we can have the entire year this webinar running with different people coming and sharing their journey, and then how things are not only because of the COVID which has come in picture. It's all because many of us are already into this, and then we have been doing it for our own different reasons. So Sandhya, if I have to. Yeah, so Ratnesh is reminding also that even like this whole thing about the online schooling has put a lot of stress on parents, and how do we now go ahead with this. But even in these times, we are able to create platform for children where the children are interacting with the interest base. They themselves are creating the interest group in Arohi X. That's one of the platform which I'm talking about, is that how just purely based on their interests, how they are creating community, how they are coming together, how they are learning different interests. So I just want to, I
Depends.
think, bring this that there are many opportunities possible with.
Even online, a lot of it does not work because they are directly implementing what they used to do offline online, which doesn't work. Which might work for some children because their learning pattern is different, but it doesn't work for everybody. There are some regular schools also which are doing a very good match of a synchronous kind of learning. So there, it also means that either the teacher or the coordinator, whoever, understands the child, to be able to work and move back. Like Aditi said, based on their interest, when you form groups and work on it. An alternative space, recently, after trying for a few weeks online sessions, they understood this is working for us, this is not working for us. So now we are going to try something else. The open, any school, any space that is openly communicating with you as a parent, you'll be able to have feedback. So I think a lot depends on the communication or thinking. We ourselves don't know ourselves, so we need to start working on that, and talking to people. Lot of concerns will get ironed off.
So Sandhya, if you have to share some parting thoughts with the people who are there still
This is
listening,
the
as a homeschooling mother, as a mother of 20-year and as well as 13, who are on their journey, different journey, what would you like to share?
uh, I think, as I started right in the beginning, I just think that you need to focus on yourself first to be able to start thinking on how you are as an individual, to be able to see somebody else, including your children. And that's the first step. Before other adult, it is easy for you to see as an individual, but with a child, it is very difficult, because you think you are the expert. Now put that aside, think of yourself as an individual, your child as an individual. So I think that
Help.
unlearning and trying to open up about yourself is more important first for anything.
Thanks a lot. I think Richa is asking again the similar question. So Richa, it's whether it's a coding or it's communication or public speaking. I think if you can just reach out to more people, look at in different ways. So any kind of interest, any kind of capability, I think you can work around that. And
I think Manoj is also doing some session. She says he's already good at public speaking. He's planning some advanced something platform. There are others also who do UN. So there are. Richa, you probably just have to look a little more around you to see what.
yeah, so Richa, you've already identified, and now you're identified, and then you're now looking for more avenues. And then, as Sandhya is saying, when you start looking around, I think things can work that out more for you. And so, thanks a lot, Sandhya. And
Thank you so much, Aditi.
and
Yeah, and Omkar ran away. He tried to avoid being in the limelight. So he's
Priyanka
gone
is
and he's
also
got another
here in
session.
the group. So I just want to say thanks to all of you, and especially to Sandhya for coming and sharing her journey, because I think it helps people who listen and who sees that okay, there are different ways it's possible. So some of you were asking before the webinar about Arohi, and if you still want to know a little more about Arohi, I can share a little later. Or if you just want to log out, you can log out. If you want just to stay here, I think there are lots of thanks coming, Sandhya.
Yeah. And actually, thank you. The questions were also quite not just relevant. These are concern points for a lot of parents. So
Yeah.
thank you for those questions, because I was able to also share along with Aditi. She also has so many years, not just her children, other children as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for those questions, and thank you for being here as well.
It was super. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I'll let
So
you share the screen if you. Yeah. So I think this is where we begin, and I want to share that once again that this whole spectrum is there where you can move around, and I think as Sandhya also shared that how her her journey was in different spectrum. She was moving around, and how things have worked out as she was, and I think it has worked out for many of us. And even if it is not working out, I think we look for it, that how we can make it work for what is that we want, and that matters, that for us to know what is that we want to know. So quickly a bit about Arohi, if I can. So the Arohi is, I think, is all about co-creation, co-learning, as Sandhya was talking about, that how we can how we can reach out to more people, how we can create our own groups. Homeschooler is one of the place where they are trying to bring communities together, and what matters for us as individual when we started our journey is that uh, can we make the child the leader of himself, and then if that is what we want, I think we can create wonders. And then that's how the Arohi came up. It's an open learning community which is open to any age, any domain, any experience. So some of you were asking that my child is good with communication skill, what can I do? I think that's capability is good enough to start with, and there are people like Manoj, and there are a lot of other people who are now specifically trying to support the children with their specific skills, and there are a lot more possibilities there. And the whole purpose of Arohi is, so the community revolves around the learning. Anybody who wants to learn anything on this earth is part of our community, and that's how we live together. We have a campus near Hosu, which is 60 kilometers from Bangalore, and we just all children stay here, but not right now, when not during the lockdown. Right now there is nobody. Campus is closed till the government allows us to open the space. Till now we are till we open the space, we are working through what we call is the Arohi X, which is extended to parents, to their homes. And it's not only the child who joins the community, it's the whole family which joins the community. And it's so this online space is all about co-creation, collaboration, families, parents collaborating each other, children collaborating with parents, children collaborating with children. So there are lots of different combinations happening within the community. And I think I can just quickly play this video of COVID time, which like a possibility that how children can learn and lead their life.
Arohi is a learning community where all of us learn together, eat together, sleep together, and also play together. We take care of each other and look after others' needs. And our campus is an open place where you can come and do whatever you want related to learning. In Arohi, I can decide what I want to learn. I can learn by books, by doing, from videos, or from any person in the community, or even the guest. We do not follow any curriculum. We plan what we want to learn. I decide what I want to plan and do every day.
According to me, Arohi is spelled as DOING. Hands-on, by learning and observing and experiencing.
We have no classes, no exams. We learn what we want, and if any one of us wants to give 10th or 12th examinations, we prepare and give via open schooling like NIOS.
Like, I was interested in playing the piano. I played the piano and practiced, and I got better and better each day. And now I play really nice. That is my assessment. We live together. I am from Bangalore. I typically come every Monday and go back on Friday to my home. Some of us are from different cities. We stay here for a couple of weeks and go back home. When their parents decide, they can come back or they can stay, however long they want to stay.
In Arohi, we learn to fail and learn from failing. I made 8 gliders, all were failed. My 9th glider was successful.
We learn by meeting people and also going to places. We travel a lot, both in and around our campus, as well as traveling to other cities. We may go to museums, we may go to people's places, we may go to factories. We went recently to Hampi to explore history and kingdoms. We went to seashore to learn surfing, and so on. The list is endless.
Arohi is a learning community. We all are here to learn different things, like playing, cooking, gardening, playing instruments.
Arohi is an open community, which means children of all ages are welcome. I can come when I want, I can go when I want. First week I came to Arohi, and the second week I could not come to Arohi. So I stayed back at my home. Arohi is a community. We all are equal, we live together. There are no teachers, we learn from each other.
Arohi is life education. I learn what I need in my life by doing it here.
Okay, thank you everyone. And I think I'll share all the details of Sandhya and Sandhya is always available to support and share through whatever her journey she has gathered for herself, so the wisdom which she had gathered. Yep. So I think it's almost 6:40. I'm so glad that so many people could receive what Sandhya you had to share, and possibly it will help to move ahead. So yeah, I think let's close it. Thanks a lot, Sandhya, and all of you who are all of you to join and explore something different or something which you are seeking right now. So thank you. It makes a lot of difference. Thank you. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka. Yeah, I think lockdown has changed for a lot of us, a lot of different things. Some good, some not so good.
Every time they practice. Last time rain stopped us.
Yeah. So nice to hear your voice, Priyanka.
Yeah, this Arohi, after seeing that video, I was like, oh my god, I want to go right away.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
such a nice
thanks.
place.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. See you.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah. Bye, everybody. Yeah.
Bye bye.